Hey friends, it's Megan, Georgia Girl Stitching here on YouTube and on Instagram. It is Monday, August 14th, and I'm back for another video. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking me out for the first time or returning. Really appreciate you clicking on my video today. There's so much wonderful content out there, so I really appreciate you taking the time to see what I got today. If you watched my last video, my WIP parade, I introduced our new puppy, Kaya. She is currently sleeping, and I've been told to never wake a sleeping baby unless you absolutely have to. So we're gonna let her nap, and then I'll show her towards the end of the video, probably towards the end of her nap. So David, my husband, he is home today, but he's not feeling super well, so he's kind of on puppy watch while I do this today. She has been the absolute perfect puppy over the last 2 weeks. She's potty trained. We have a bell by the front door that we were able to get her bell trained. She maybe has like one accident every couple days. Like, she's not 100% perfect, but we've made a ton of progress. And she's pretty much sleeping through the night. There's, occasional, she has to get up in the middle of the night, but even before that, it was just one time at night. So we have been incredibly blessed with her. Tank really loves her. He's totally accepted her, which was a huge thing for him. He's been an only child for the 5 years of his life, so he was not super keen originally, but he has accepted her, and she's just been an amazing blessing. We've taken her out on some excursions over the last few weekends, and she's done great. So she zooms for an hour, and then she sleeps for an hour, and then she zooms for an hour. So she's just been wonderful. Life stuff over the last couple of weeks. We went to visit my parents. We kind of met halfway between Atlanta and here and met up with them so they could meet little baby Kaya. And then last week, actually, my mom was able to come stay with us for a few days. David has been kind of in a transition period with his placement right now, and so he's been home, but with baby Kaya, we didn't want to leave her for too long at a time, but he still had some things he needed to go do. So my mom came up and helped us out last week. Was able to kind of play Gigi grandma for a week with her and give David some freedom when he needed it. So really super grateful about that. And then she also got to spend some puppy time. So it was nice having her here. And then I'm on a heme onc rotation right now for adults, which hasn't been the most fun. It's been a very enlightening rotation. Long hours, but I do have Mondays off. So, not too much to complain about, but excited for my next rotation. I'm halfway through, and then after this, I go to family medicine for a month. So, I also apply to residency next month. So I'm currently working on my residency application. It's just been kind of day-to-day life stuff, nothing, too crazy. David starts back on his kind of placement job right now tomorrow, so we're just kind of cruising. And then I've been able to actually stitch over the last 2 weeks, which has been amazing. Even with the puppy and with everything going on, I actually got some good stitching in. So excited to share that with you all today. One of it might be a little bit of a repeat from my WIP parade if you haven't checked that out, but there at least has been progress on these other things. So for today, I have 4 projects, 4 WIPs, which if you're new, it's a work in progress. So I have 4 of those to share with you. And then I figure since it might be a little bit of a shorter video, I actually have a kit parade for today. I was looking through some of my kits and had forgotten about some of them. And I was like, I don't even know the last time I shared all of my kits. So I'm gonna do a little kit parade and along with my WIPs. And then I do have a giveaway at the end of this video, so stay tuned. So let's get started on the stitching. So the first thing, this one doesn't have a ton of progress, but I was able to work on this a little bit during some of our travel. This is an easier travel piece that I kind of pull if we're gonna be on a longer car ride that might be a little bumpy. I pull this one. So I'll show a picture here. This is Hibiscus Arrangement 1 from Artisy. And here's where I'm at. This is on 32 count wave pool by Color and Cotton. And I was able to get this leaf done. So I was able to fully finish this leaf, and now I can really start on the pink hibiscus. which I'm super excited about. Get some pink in there. There's that. Someone asked me on my last video where I got this 32 count wave pool from. So this was a fabric of the month from Color and Cotton, part of their fabric of the month club. And she does not have any of this on her website right now, but she does have, Color and Cotton does have a brick and mortar shop now in Missouri. So as of right now, she has not linked up her online inventory with her in-store inventory. So it might be worth calling if you want, like if there's any Color and Cotton fabric that you've been wanting, you can call and order from the store if she has it in stock and they'll ship it to you. I think there is plans to kind of link up the two inventories so you can see both so that it matches, but I know that's not the case yet. So if you do want this fabric or any fabric, it's worth probably calling and seeing if they have any in stock. So that's the one. And then this was if you haven't watched my WIP parade, this is technically a new start. That's also a restart. So this is Shores of Hot Ground Hollow from Carriage House Samplings. I'm changing this quite a bit. I was inspired by the Traveling Stitcher on Instagram, who's completely redoing it to personalize for her and match her style. And I had started this a while ago on 32 count and I just never got real progress on it. It just was never calling to me. It was so big. It was like a bed sheet on me. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to sneeze. It was like a bed sheet on me, and so I just was never pulling it out. And then when I saw her do hers, I was like, you know what, I should do that. I modify patterns all the time, modify projects. I want to modify it for myself. So what I did is I basically took this middle part here, because I love this middle piece. So I took this size, so it's like 5 squares, but basically 6, 2 by 3. And I put my favorite blocks in there. So I have this one, this one. I wanted the quote to flow, because that's really what inspired me to want like this piece originally. So, like the way, come what may, my love at sea, I will wait for thee. So these are the top 2. This will be the middle. And then this one will go basically here, and this moves over. So that's kind of the new arrangement. I'll put a mock-up here of what I recharted. I also changed the colors. Sorry, Tank just laid down. I also changed the colors and kind of brightened them up a little bit, or use some more variegated, because this is called for an NPI or DMC conversion. So I decided to do like a little bit more of a colorful, brighter color or variegated. So I kind of pulled out a lot of my Color and Cottons that I have, because I've been part of their floss of the month for quite some time. So you can kind of see, I kind of brightened up some of the, this is just, I'm not using this yet. This is the water now, is Threadworks 1056, which I actually got inspired to use this for water by Z-Zook Stitch. She used this for water for one of her By the Bay projects that she did, and it was gorgeous. So I'm copying her with that. And then just like some of the yellows and the reds, just kind of all of the animal, like the sea animals are gonna be different shades of blue. The house is gonna be blue. So I started this, and I also started on 40 count fabric, on 40 count platinum. And this is how far I've gotten, which is a lot compared to what I had before. So this is where I'm at now. The only other change I made that wasn't like a straight conversion, this rock here next to the seagull, I changed that to Tinky, to 3053, I believe, DMC. I just wanted this to be a little bit brighter. This was kind of like a orangey brown before, and when I recharted it, I wanted a just like a slightly different color. So it kind of looks like moss on it versus rock. It's like a rock with moss. Still normal B5200 white. And then that's the Threadworks water kind of coming across. So that's where we're at so far. I have put this away for right now. I was getting a little burned out on the water and I didn't want to get burned out on this, so I put it away for right now. But my goal is to finish this first block by the end of the year. So that's where I'm hoping we get to that. So, all right. And then this next one was also a new start in my WIP parade that I've made a tiny bit more progress on. This is my design yet to be released. I want to stitch the model before I release it. It's called Anchored in Love, and this is the mock-up of it. And you might recognize it. This was, I did a version of this in February for Valentine's Day as like / our anniversary piece. I ended up finishing it in February. And it was called I Vow to Be. And that was, I took 2 of my vows to David and made motifs but a lot of people loved it, but I didn't want it to be necessarily my vows that I then put out. So I changed the quote, but to still have anchor and light in the name of it. And that's what this mock-up was. And this is how far we've gotten. This is on 40 count Chesapeake bicolor and cotton. And this is also a fabric of the month. But she has recently had this on her website. I just bought a 36 count version of it a couple weeks ago. So this occasionally she has on there, but this is where we're at so far. So this is the first, I need to have shine here, and this is the start of the lighthouse, or part of the lighthouse. So this is, I mean, it's about as wide as this Q-snap, so, and this is on 40 count. So loving this, kind of working on this when I need a break from another project. That's kind of a better, the fabric's more that color. It kind of washes it out when I bring it in closer, but I love this fabric. It's so pretty. And the white does show up on it. I know the lighting's a little, but the white does show up. So yeah, so we're on that one. And then my last WIP that I've worked on this one. So I started this one on World Cross Stitch Day a year ago. And then I realized, so I haven't been on social media very much this last week. Last week was really kind of insane. So I wasn't on social media a lot. So I found out, or I remembered and saw on Instagram at like 7:30, 8 o'clock on Friday that it was World Cross Stitch Day. So totally missed me. But I was like, well, I did start a piece last year on World Cross Stitch Day and I hadn't really worked on it much. Like I worked on it a little bit after I started it, but then I haven't worked on it all yet this year at least. And so I was like, I should pull that out for this weekend. And so I did and made quite a bit of progress this weekend. This is Pearl by Northern Expression Needleworks. I got this off of Etsy and I am absolutely in love. So this is part of her Birthstones series. She has one for every month. And this is June, which is my birth month and also the month that we got married in, so a special month. And so, but last time when I put it down, I had this internal diamond all completed with all the beads. So this past weekend, I got this band, well, it's actually 3 bands, done and then started this. So, I'll come up closer. This was it's so much fun to do. So I don't remember what the internal diamond stitches are, but here is the upright rice stitch, I think Algerian eyelet, and then rice stitch again, and then these are the eyelets. They're just really big and they go all the way around. So I am just absolutely in love with it. I am changing, so I'm following the pattern completely as called for, but I am changing the floss and beads for it. The called for is more like cream, and I want it to be a little bit more white, especially with this fabric. Oh, this is 32 count raw silver, and like the shine is just amazing. And so I am using Almond M&M's Orchid Silk. And then the beads, I got off of Etsy. If anyone is interested in what the beads are, I'd be happy to share. I don't remember off the top of my head what they're called, or what the numbers, they're the same type of bead, they're just a different color that's called for. So instead of like 01, I got 02 or whatever. So I'd be happy to share if anyone's interested, but I love it. So my goal for this, honestly too, I was thinking about it before I started this band. If you didn't want to do the whole thing, this just right here would be a nice like ornament. Like I could have stopped right there and made like a diamond ornament or something, which would be really pretty. And so my goal for this is I'm gonna keep working on this one this week until I finish this band, which shouldn't take me very long. These go really fast. It takes a lot of thread, but it goes really fast. I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna put it away because the next after this is this repeated again, or these 3 bands, they're repeated again all the way around. And while I love the effect, these get tiring. And I don't want to do it again right now. So I'm going to put it away so I don't get burned out on it. And then hopefully pick it up again either, I don't know if I'll pick it up again this year. It might be early next year, but I definitely want this to be finished next year, early next year, because I really want to do the December one. And I think I'm going to start the December one in December. So originally I wanted to have this done before I start December, but I don't think that's realistic because I want to start the December one. So David was born in December, so I want to do his, and I'm thinking about starting that like on his birthday in December. So in order for that to happen, or I was originally thinking in order for that to happen, I wanted to do this one, but it doesn't matter. So, but yeah, I love it. I love it so much. And they're not hard. They're really not hard stitches. I will say though about the pattern, and if anyone's done these, it's a really good pattern for showing you how to do the stitches. And then it does have the pattern like showing all of the stitches on a pattern, but they don't like color code each individual stitch. So like this middle band here, it's a lot to look at on the actual pattern. It's hard to like, wait, is that the right stitch or is that the eyelet? Like, it's kind of hard. So it took me a little while to figure out like, okay, when I started the first one, how do I connect them as I go down? Like, where do I then go? Like, I know where the individual one, how that one goes, but where do I then connect them to continue the diamond? So that took a little bit of figuring out. So if anyone has any trouble with that while you're doing this, let me know. I'd be happy to help because it took me a minute to figure out, wait, where am I starting this? I wish the original pattern was like a little bit more color coded because it's just all gray for all of it. So it just looks like a lot of lines and I'm like, wait, which stitch is that? So. But for the spacing, like between here and here, the different bands, the spacing on the pattern is really good and helpful. So you also have to be careful in her squares if it's over 1 or over 2, because you just have to be careful with the pattern. But it's gorgeous and I love it and I'm excited to keep working on it. So that's all I worked on over the last 2 weeks, which is kind of a lot for me historically. So my plans, I want to finish that band. I want to work on Anchored in Love more. And then my overarching goal for the rest of the year is I would love to be able to touch all of my projects before the end of the year and make like actual progress on them. So I was kind of starting to map it out yesterday of like what I need to work on each month. I don't know if it'll work. I'm gonna try because we still kind of have like a busy fall and everything. So I'm hoping even if I can just get 1 day on each project, that would at least feel good. So that's kind of my overarching plan. My goal is to work on each project, but then whatever projects I don't touch, I think are gonna be the projects I use for the 12 by 12 for New Year's Eve. That's done by Pam from Just Keep Stitchin' and Kia from Kia B. They have a event that they call 12 by 12 on New Year's Eve, where you work on 12 projects and 12 hours leading up to midnight on New Year's Eve. So you would work on each project for an hour, the 12 hours leading up to New Year's Eve. And I've done that the last couple of years and I've loved it. It used to be like, or I shouldn't say it used to be, I think originally it was like you did 12 new starts and you like started 12 things leading into the new year. And I did do that the first year, and that's how my WIP number has now gotten high because a lot of my WIPs now are from 12 by 12. Last year I did a mix where some were new starts and some were WIPs. And then this year I think they're gonna be mostly WIPs with like maybe 1 or 2 new starts. So we'll see. I'm excited about that. I love that. We don't really do a whole lot for New Year's Eve. We kind of go all out for like Christmas and stuff like that. So we kind of have a lower key New Year's Eve. Also usually someone has to work the next day or shortly after. So we just haven't historically done a lot. His birthday is on the 29th. So we like travel for his birthday and then, are home by New Year's Eve. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. So those are kind of the overall plans. I'm gonna work on Anchor. I'm gonna finish up June, or that band. And then I have a new start that I wanna do, which I'll show you in my kit parade. And then kind of go from there, because I'm in a very much like stitch what I want mood. So yeah, but I'm also kind of hoping to do these videos a little bit more frequently this fall, especially after I get my application in for residency. I don't have boards to study for. I do need to like prepare for interviews, but that's not like an every day, every evening, multiple hours at a time thing. So yeah, so I'm hoping to have more stitching time over these next few months, which I feel like I need to get as much of that in before I start residency in next June. So I need to try and get as much stitching in as I can, because come next July, basically, we're gonna be back to the old ways and more so. Okay, so I'm gonna switch over to my kit parade now. I don't know exactly how many I have. A lot of these were gifts that I need to get started. Maybe I do like a gift 12 by 12 or something. I don't know, because a lot of these I do want to start and just like plugging it in where it makes sense. So the first one, this pattern was a gift from David for Christmas a couple years ago. And I haven't fully kitted this up yet, but I have the starts of it. And this is, oh no, that's not gonna work. Thought I'd try. This is Peace on Earth by Cottage Garden Samplings. I've always loved this one. I've seen it stitched a few times and it's gorgeous. And I'm gonna stitch that on 36 count Dove by Weeks Dye Works. I love this. I used this fabric for one of her other ones. Which one was it? Merry and Bright. I think it was Merry and Bright that I stitched it on. And I just love it for her Christmas winter type patterns. And then I do have 4 of the called for so far. I'm also considering, though, there's so many overdyes, I might also kind of dip into my color and cottons and see what will work too on here. So, because this came out in 2019, I don't know if dye-lets have changed significantly since then, so we'll see. But that's one. And then these next 2 are gifts from my dear friend Taylor. She sent these and she fully kitted them up for me. This one's the Cardinal Biscornu from Tiny Modernist. She got these from Keepsakes. Tiny Modernist Cardinal Biscornu, which she got me 28 count linen and by Zweigart, Dirty Linen Zweigart, and the DMC floss for it. So she got me all called for. So I'm excited to start that one. And then along in that same package, she got me the Parrot Biscornu by Tiny Modernist. It's just so fun. I love those very colorful parrots. And this, she got me just 28 count white linen, which is the called for, and all the floss. Look at those gorgeous floss. So tropical and fun. So excited to start these. I've never done a biscornu before, so I definitely want to try that sometime. And then I am gonna be that person and put these back in the bag real quick. This next one was actually one of my first purchases from Keepsakes, so I should probably do it. I don't know why I have it. I think I just forget about it because it would not take me very long, but it's Navy by Heinzel. And I'm gonna change it a little bit because I got 28 count navy linen for it. So I'm gonna do the actual word navy in white and then the border in, I'm thinking like a petite treasure braid gold. Cause it's just called for in a DMC, but I might do like a petite treasure braid. This would take me an afternoon. I really just need to do this. I've had it for 5 years now to do it. This next one was a gift from subscriber Renee. Little bit of summer. So pretty. And she sent me a very kind card. 32 count vintage blue whisper fabric, and then all the DMC for it and floss tags for them. So all these wonderful floss tags for it too. So for all the floss. So I definitely want to do this one. This wouldn't be super long to do either, and it's so pretty. Just a cute little fun summer thing. This next one was also a gift from Tony that I definitely need to work on. She gave me the entire kit, finishing everything for the hands-on design. What's the official name? I Dream of the Sea. I Dream of the Sea in the Wild Salt Air. So I have all the stuff for it, and then I have another bag that has all the the tray and all the finishing stuff. So I definitely need to prioritize this and get this going because I do love this whole kit. I was so grateful for all these gifts, seriously. I need to stitch them. This was a really big one when it came out, and I had originally regretted not getting it. And then it showed up, so thank you so much. This next one is a restart. It was actually a 12 by 12 start a few years ago, and I just wasn't a fan of the fabric that I had chosen. I couldn't see the white, I couldn't see any of the stuff on it. I just wasn't a huge fan. So I'm restarting it, and I think maybe I'll restart it for 12 by 12 this year. And that is Hands-On Design Let's Talk Stitching. And I did change the greens. So these were kind of more yellowy greens. I like more like blue greens. So I changed the greens to 905 and 906. So this is the floss for them. So I think I kept the same blues and then changed and I'm gonna now do it on 40 count Lagoon. I can stop dropping stuff. So I know the white will show up well on there. The blues will show up, I think, pretty well too. So it'll be the Lagoon. And this I don't have any kind of strict timeline for it. It's gonna go in my 1-day craft room that does not currently exist. So, so I'm gonna restart that. Oh, this is the original. This was originally on 40 count aqua. And this was as far as I had gotten. Oh, that's the back. And I liked how the X's looked, but I did start that hoop, and you can barely see it. Especially from a distance, you can't see it. So that's when I learned that 40 count aqua is not good for white, unfortunately. But Lagoon is, so I'm gonna do that. This next one is, or the next two, my last two are my own designs that I have kitted up. And this next one I'm actually gonna start this month is my plan. And it is our my memorial piece for our puppy Isla, who passed away in June. Here's a mock-up of it. And I'm gonna do it on 32 count platinum. Yeah, 32 count platinum. And these are all the flosses for it. So I'm gonna use some white etoile in there as well. And then her blues. So, yep. So I'm gonna start that this month. And then my last one is also one of my designs. And this is Kind, Fierce, Brave, which you can see here. This is on my Gumroad already released. I originally had said I was gonna do it on 40 count Ophelia, but then after I'd already done all of that, I went to go cut Ophelia and I ended up not having enough. From a glance, it looked like I was gonna have plenty, and then I actually measured it out and I did not. So I had to kind of swerve. And that's not, so my Gumroad, it's not like the final pattern. I'm going to redo the pattern with once I actually have it stitched and mocked up and everything. So, so that's kind of a download for now, but it will change. And I'm now gonna do it on 40 count Wisteria from Color and Cotton. Ooh, that is getting very washed out. Let's try this. No, it's a very light lavender. Why is it not showing up? It's getting very washed out, but I don't know where to show it. Show me anything else that's white? No. Well, these are the colors that are gonna be on it. The colors might help the color of the fabric show up. But this I originally had designed as a gift for a dear friend of mine. And very different colors, very different, look, but a lot of people seem to love it. So I want to put it out there. If any other special, I kind of rededicated and put it out there for Mother's Day this year, for my mom and all the women in my life that are very kind, fierce, and brave. And so this is the kit it up. So I want to start this soon too. I had hoped to start it on Mother's Day, and then my fabric didn't work out, and then life happened. So I'm planning to start this eventually too. I want to start this by the end of the year, and kind of get that out there. If you buy it on my Gumroad page, then it'll be the original pattern. But when I re-release it, I can send you the new one once it's like fully done. So it's not like you'll have to rebuy it if you want the new picture or anything. You'll get an automatic re-download of it if you want it. So that's all my kits right now. So now we can do the giveaway. I will say a couple of things though. So my Gumroad has most of my designs on there. Some of them are like fully modeled and ready to go, and then some are just mock-ups that I'm currently stitching or trying to get stitched to have an actual stitched piece on the front. I'm considering, so I've gotten a couple of feedback that like people just aren't comfortable with Gumroad. It's easy to use, and I haven't had any issues or heard of any actual issues, but it's just not the norm thing. People usually are like, seem to be more comfortable using Etsy. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on my video here, because quite a few people have jumped from Gumroad to Etsy, and I'm considering doing that too. So just want to kind of get your thoughts. Would you be more open to buying patterns if they were on Etsy versus something like Gumroad, or does it not matter? Or, kind of what your thoughts and feelings are on it. I am planning right now, I shouldn't say I'm planning, I am leaning towards opening an Etsy shop, but I don't know when that would be because it's kind of a process to do that. So I'm leaning towards that, but I'm curious kind of what y'all's thoughts are on that. Okay, so we'll do the giveaway. This is Lizzie Kate, Good Friends, it doesn't have an official name. It's B45 Inspiration Boxer. So it has this, but it says, good friends are like angels. You don't have to see them to know they are there. And you all have been such wonderful, good friends to me in this season of life and all of my other previous seasons. So I want to give away as a thank you for all of you wonderful, good friends who have been so supportive and wonderful over my time here on FlossTube and Instagram and everything. So I will send this anywhere in the world. I'm gonna say the word to use is friend. Use the word friend. And I will give this away in my next video, which I'm hoping will be Labor Day weekend here in the United States. So first weekend of September. I'm gonna do another video then. And I'll pick the winner then. So use the word friend. And then I also have another question for you. With so many new floss tubers and content creators out there right now, I'm just kind of curious. I've been doing this for a few years, and I'm curious, now that you've seen so many new floss tubers, what types of things do you like in a floss tube, and what types of things do you not like in a floss tube? And be kind and constructive. Don't, I'm just curious kind of what's the general consensus on, what people are looking for when they're looking for a floss tube video, what kind of styles do they like, or, different things. And I'm just I want to kind of do a little, not revamp, but, go with the times and update with the times and keep everyone happy and as much as I can and doing what people like to see, basically. So if you have any suggestions or feedback at all, I would be very interested to hear that. So friend, and I think that's it for today. Like I said, I hope to be back Labor Day weekend. Puppy is still very asleep, but for you guys, I'll wake her. And then it's almost time for her. She usually only sleeps for like an hour anyway, so it's not too much earlier than her nap time, and she might just curl back up anyway. But I just want to say thank you guys so much again for all of your kind comments and support on here and on Instagram, and I really, really do appreciate it. Everyone's major support for David crocheting, he's loving it. He's working on his blanket still and making progress, and hopefully we'll get him on during Labor Day weekend as well and show some progress. But just really appreciate, the love and support. And that's partly why I want to hear from you guys, like, how can I make it better? How can I make this better for you guys? Because it's about what you like to see. So let me get baby girl here. So big. We're only 11 weeks old as of Saturday, almost 11 and a half. And we have already gained so much. We are, you're like 15 pounds now? She was 11 when we got her. Oh, big yawn. So if you're new here, this is Kaya. She's a charcoal lab, full lab. And she's got a really big tongue. I know, baby. I know, but the people wanted to see you. The people wanted to see. I have lots of pictures of her on my Instagram, Georgia Girl Stitching, if you're interested in seeing more of her, and I'll try and do little puppy updates every time I have a video, because she's gonna grow big fast, I think. She already fits in her collar that we had gotten, thinking that she wouldn't fit in it in quite some time, and it's only been 2 weeks, so yeah, okay. So again, thank you for all of the amazing support, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks. Bye, friends. Say bye, Kaya. Bye.